Welcome back to live election coverage here at Robert Morris University. During the break, more returns came in, and Jana has the update on those involved. And more often than not, it was what I announced with Tennessee and Arkansas going to Mitt Romney. But however, I must clarify something. The Electoral College consists of 538 electors. A majority of 270 electoral votes is required to elect the president. That's where that figure comes from. But if you want to go in a little bit more on those returns that we spoke before the commercial break, that'll give the viewers something else to think about.
Yeah, as we mentioned, none of these current returns are exactly coming as a surprise to any political savvy youth. But the thing is, we have to expect these returns because a lot of these states are coming in predicted areas like the South, and they have traditionally more conservative values, which go along with Mitt Romney and his Republican campaign. And also the states that Barack Obama has taken, a lot of them are coming up in the Northeast, and that is generally a Democratic stronghold. So like I said, none of these are really a surprise, and we're pretty much certain of these, so we'll wait for the shockers to roll in.
Well, we just got some more breaking news from Andre Agassi, Professor Moretti. I can't think of another tennis player. Rafael Nadal, you're really good on clay. Obama continues to hold success in the North, adding New Jersey, and that takes him to 75 Electoral College votes, which is now the lead. And Romney continues to win the South, adding Tennessee and Arkansas. Now he has a total of 88 Electoral College votes. Now that gives him a lead of 13. And Obama has a slight lead in Florida with about a third of all results still to be predicted. And if Obama wins Florida, Romney also he has almost no path to a victory. And that is all from Professor Moretti with the breaking news. But again, thank you, Jana, for your reports. I didn't forget about those, I swear. We'll bring you all and some more information as it comes into the desk. At this moment, I would like to toss it to Chelsea for another social media update. Chelsea, what's up on Twitter?
Hello, everyone. I'm back here at the social media desk. It seems that Barack Obama's Twitter account is updating quite often as the results roll in. You see here we have breaking news from Anderson Cooper has tweeted. Everyone is tweeting about the election night. It is basically all you will see tonight on Twitter, and all the projections. As you can see, Romney's projected to win Alabama, and it turns out he has. We're going to take it over to this map here that is showing all the electoral votes. Barack Obama right now is at 75, and Governor Mitt Romney is at 88. He has taken Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, Georgia. Again, as Jana was saying, nothing unpredictable here. Southern states traditionally conservative in voting. We'll see in the next few hours as the results roll in. We might have some surprises, but as for now, everything is going as predicted. And thank you all. I'm going to throw this back to Jana and John.
All right, thank you, Chelsea, for that Twitter update. And it must be our lucky day because the Gorsey Report is in full swing. Kyle Gorsey is reporting live from the Democratic headquarters on the South Side area in Pittsburgh. So let's see what he's got for us.
Hello, Kyle.
Kyle Gorsey reporting live from the South Side at the Allegheny County Democratic Watch Party. Cheers just in the background. Everyone was excited that Ohio is still too close to call. Everybody is just about packed in here. The excitement is amazing. Everyone in here I talked to expects Obama to win tonight. Any little cheer for any Democratic person winning a Senate or Congress seat is expected, and it's loud, even when there is nobody here. Kyle Gorsey reporting live. Stay tuned for my next report at 9 o'clock. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Kyle. That was outstanding. I cannot wait to hear from him at 9 o'clock. Of course, Leah and Pat will be the ones getting the pleasure of talking to Kyle Gorsey, only if they're lucky.
Of course.
And after the break, Haley will interview one of the campus's most politically active professors, as well as returns for the 8 o'clock hour. Stay with us for more live election coverage until midnight.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
People don't realize how quickly you can end up on the street. One thing happens in your life, medical bills you can't pay, lose your job, and that's it.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
We went to DC to work with the homeless. They sell a newspaper called Street Sense. Thought I'd help.
But if you want to give more, you can.
This person came up to me and said, get a job. And for 2 hours, I felt what it was like to be homeless.
Good morning. $1 help.
Some of the other students said, how can we change this? And I said, sometimes you can't change the world, but you may be able to change one person's world. My dream, open a psych clinic for people on the street.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
Excellent graphics. Again, Jake Neal, the director of this fine program, one of the producers, made all of those, and thank him for that. But we do have some breaking news before we go to Paul out in Moon Township. Romney has taken Alabama and now leads with 82 electoral college votes. Obama now with 64, and again, certainly good for all of the participants involved in the Republican Party, seeing Romney taking the lead and further into the night. And now let's throw it over to our own Haley Sawyer, who is a special guest in studio. And that's me, Anthony Moretti.
Tennis star, professor of journalism, he does everything.
Are you just trying to suck up for an A in a class?
I wouldn't be opposed to an A if you can hear me over there.
Yeah, I'm sure he can hear you because he is right over there getting ready for the interview. And now he's ready. You can ask him yourself. Anthony.
Do I give A's? No. Students earn A's. Okay? and right now, the two of you on that desk tonight, I like. I approve of your performances. How's that?
Thank you for the alliteration. Now let Haley ask you some
we
questions.
Will. I hope I get an A too. I mean,
yes, you
I
do.
have you as well.
Yes, you do.
And in class, you have talked about multiple times about your trip to the RNC and the DNC. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
You know, what's always exciting about something like that for me is, I mean, sure, it's a great professional opportunity. It's a wonderful thing to see personally. But, you know, I always get a charge out of 2 or 3 things. Number one, when I see folks your age who are just absolutely passionate about politics. I mean, I admit, I'm a political junkie. There's no secret about that. But I think, you know, the second thing is that for so many students, such as yourself, such as students who are working here tonight, this is the first time they voted in really any sort of election, but certainly in a presidential election. And to see that enthusiasm when they move from, gee, I've always wanted to do this, to, hey, now it's my turn. It's really exciting to see, you know, and in both Tampa and Charlotte, you know, obviously you're going to get students who are sort of predisposed to politics. That's understandable. But I think what's different, so to speak, when you're in an environment like that is these very often are students who are sort of the cream of the crop. They want to be there. They're political science majors. They're journalism majors studying politics as well. You know, so there is that passion, so to speak, that they bring. That's really exciting to see.
All right, I'm going to turn the tables a little bit. Both Barack Obama and Mitt Romney kind of come off as like family men. Throughout history, how has that helped presidents, do you think?
You know, I think it helps if it looks sincere. And I think it's become harder and harder to define the president as a family man in, say, the last 20 or 30 years. You know, you look back, and I think most people would say that, you know, George Bush and Laura Bush, and also the previous George Bush and his wife, Barbara, I think most people would say they had really great marriages. You know, in between you had the Clintons who, you know, you could write books upon books upon books about that relationship. And yet, if you look at that couple, there's no question they have a real love for each other. And yet you ask yourself, if I were married to him and he did all of that, wouldn't I want to just punch him in the nose, you know? Now, of course, we're all guilty of sort of putting our values on circumstances. But, you know, I think the challenge is that especially in this age of social media, in this age of 24-hour news coverage, what we expect a president to be, I think, is far different than we looked at 20, 30, or even 40 years ago. They're always on stage, so to speak. I don't know if that's good as much as that is inevitable.
Right, and you mentioned the wives a little bit. How important is it for, like Michelle Obama has her childhood obesity campaign, how important is it for the First Lady to get involved?
You know, it's a relatively new public phenomenon. And what I mean by that is for too often, or for too long rather, the First Lady was seen as somebody who was really not supposed to be seen all that much. But certainly over the last three First Ladies, to a lesser extent Mrs. Reagan as well, what you saw was a woman who took on an issue that to some extent was hers. You're right, it's obesity and diet and that sort of thing for Mrs. Obama. It was literacy and education, especially young people's education for Mrs. Bush. Mrs. Clinton was very much, or by intention rather, was very much a politician in her own right. You know, there was no question that she wanted more than just to be a First Lady. I don't mean that to be a demeaning term. And so, you know, I think what we'll see if Mr. Obama is reelected tonight, I think you'll see Mrs. Obama keep the same platform. If Mr. Romney's elected tonight, the big question is what will be Mrs. Romney's issue? What will be the thing that she will focus on? You know, and it very well might be health in general, especially women's health, as odd as that may seem based upon how his campaign has been characterized. She suffers from MS, for example. And I think people will look at that and expect, whether it's fair or not, expect that that's going to be the issue that she's going to focus on.
And, oh, actually, we are actually out of time, so thank you for spending some time with us here tonight.
Always good to be there. I'll come back later.
And we're going to toss it back to the desk with John and Jana.
Thank you, Haley, and thank you, Professor Moretti. I'll see you in class tomorrow morning. Hopefully I get that A that you were promising. Earlier today, we sent reporter Paul Wintruba out into Moon Township to pick up a bit of input from some area voters. Here is what the young reporter has found throughout Moon Township.
Hello, my name is Paul Wintruba, and I am here reporting for the RMU Century, and I am here with
Joe Wise.
I'm here with Joe Wise. He is handing out flyers today at the Moon County High School voting station. Joe, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on here today?
Well, basically what we're doing is whether we represent working on behalf of a state representative or just handing out information on behalf of either party, Republicans or Democrats, or just handing out as if people aren't hit enough with this stuff. We're making just one last push to make sure that, hey, when they walk in, they have enough information to make an informed decision.
Are there a lot of people around handing out flyers, trying to get the last minute vote here?
Without a doubt. I mean, I'm here right now, just me, but for the most part, there are groups of individuals all over the place, both here, I know down in Swickley as well. They're in the intersections, but they're also at the polling stations, both Republicans and Democrats. So everybody seems to be pretty energized about this election today, as opposed to perhaps some others.
How do you think voter turnout's coming along today? Do you think it's more than average, less than average?
I think it's definitely, what I understand, it's more than average. That some of the other polling places where you have, are surrounded by big neighborhoods, that they have, they see maybe 10 to 20% more people at this time. Now, obviously, the big thing will be around 6 o'clock, and then we'll have a better idea then.
Thank you so much, Paul, for going out into Moon Township to see what the area had to say. Now, Jana, we only have a couple of minutes left, so we're going to discuss what we already announced in the last current returns segment, that Romney did take Alabama. This is about 5 or 6 minutes old, and he now leads with 82 electoral votes. Obama is still with 64. Again, that's a little bit old, guys. We understand that. We haven't gotten any new returns yet, but we will fresh in the 9 o'clock hour. Now, again, Romney with a clear lead right now. Again, the big states have still not been identified as to who they have voted for. We will see at the 9 o'clock hour, but right now it looks good for the Republican Party.
Well, you just have to remember that you cannot let these early returns deceive you, because both candidates are taking states that they were expected to take. So it's not as if a lot of the up-in-the-air states have been decided. So the big states that will play the major role in this election are still yet to be determined. Like, for instance, Dr. Moretti was saying that if Romney is going to take the election, chances are he'll have to take Florida with him. So things like that are going to be vital in this election. And we mentioned earlier that Pennsylvania is turning into more of a battleground state than expected. And further proof of that is that Mitt Romney was actually campaigning here in Moon Township earlier today. He was at the Atlantic Air Force Wing of the Moon Township Airport, well, technically the Pittsburgh International Airport located in Moon Township. So for the fact that he was here campaigning on Election Day says to me that he thinks he has a shot at taking Pennsylvania, which would be a major turning point and major momentum for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan.
Well, right in here on one of my sheets that I have written down that Pennsylvania is a natural Democratic state, but it is also one of the very key swing states that we cannot ignore, and funny that we live in one of the most important states that could decide the whole entire election. And again, other states that we have, Texas on Romney's side, Texas, the Dakotas, Tennessee, which he has already gotten, but on the flip side, Obama, California, Pennsylvania, New York, and Oregon are still up in the air. So in the next hour, we will get that from Pat and Leah. And I want to thank everybody, Jana especially, Chelsea at our social media desk, and Haley for all of the work in this hour. It's been a pleasure, and we will see, and you guys will see Pat and Leah on the desk starting at 9 o'clock. Everyone, take care, and thank you so much.